Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. We're back today with another Scarlet and Violet solo run, and it's been a little while since the last one. I do apologise, I've just had a lot on and this video took a little bit longer than I wanted it to overall. Today we are doing the mascot Pokemon for the franchise, Pikachu. And it was Drips that requested it on my Twitch channel while we were shiny hunting. The Pikachu we're using has the ability Static, and it's the one that we got from the event where we first got Scarlet and Violet. So it's the one that's got Fly, and it's got a Terra type of Flying, which is actually really useful for us. I didn't realise how useful it would be until later in the run. At the beginning of the game, we're going to choose Fuecoco for our starter so that Nemona has the Sprigatito, later on Meowscarada, and just so it's got the resistance to electric, no other reason really. When we look at Pikachu's base stat total, we can see that it's about on par with any other starter. I honestly thought it was going to be better, but it is what it is, and Pikachu's best stat by far is its speed, which is very useful to us. Still, I just wish we had a bit more attack or special attack, but we'll mitigate that later with our held item. And looking at the TMs, Pikachu can learn a lot of good moves, particularly on the physical side, which is going to be good for us as we are going to probably lean more towards our physical attacks. Once we've picked our starter, we can head down to the beach and have our first battle, our only battle with the actual starter against Nemona. It's a pretty quick battle. We just hit it twice with the fire move and then it's over. Once we've done that, we can finally move our Pikachu over into the game, and then we can head on out on our adventure and start the tutorial section. Before we can head into the main city, Mesagoza, we have to battle with Nemona once again. So we've got our Pikachu now, Nemona sends out Sprigatito, and we lose this fight. It's not even close. So it is what it is, it's not the end of the world. Most often I lose it just to save time. And then we can go through into the city. The battle here is just used to introduce the gimmick of the generation, being terrestrialization. And once we've seen that, we won't have to wait much longer until we can terrestrialize ourselves. But with all that said and done, we go through the rest of the tutorial, unlock the 3 paths that we need to complete the story, and end off the tutorial with a time of 57 minutes. Not the fastest, but definitely not the slowest either so far. The first gym leader we're up against is Katie, the bug type gym leader. As usual, as it's the early easy fight in the game, we are at level 15 for this and a time of 1 hour 21 minutes. We start the fight off by terrestrializing so that we can resist the bug moves and also power up our fly, now making it have the same damage as if it was stabbed. And Katie sends out Nimble to start the fight. On turn 1, we fly up into the sky, dodging the attack from Nimble as we are quicker, and then on the second time, we come down and take the Nimble out. After that, we level up to 16, and I think about spending some time with the moves, looking at whether what we're going to learn is better or not, before Katie then sends in Tarantula. Now against Tarantula we're just going to use Fly again. We do outspeed, we are able to dodge the move and take Tarantula out on the second turn. Katie's ace Pokemon, as always, is Teddiursa. And Katie will terrestrialize Teddiursa into the bug type. So we're going to go ahead and once again use Fly. Go up into the sky, dodge the move from Teddiursa before hitting it, and not quite taking it out in one hit, but not far off either. We do take a hit from Teddiursa, but it's not enough to stop us, as we are then free to finish it off, giving us our first gym badge of the run. And also after this we're going to spend a little bit of time going and hunting for a light ball. Spoiler, it takes absolutely ages, and I end up moving a compound eyes Pokemon from my save file over to make it easier, and it still took a couple of hours where I'd go for some, reset it, and then go again until I got it basically, so I wasn't wasting too much time. The first Titan that we face up is Clorf, the Stony Cliff Titan. And we have had a reset against Clorf due to Electro Ball in the first phase, taking it below half, proccing Anger Shell, and then we got crit. But we took it out on the next attempt without any extra time or anything. And for this fight we're at level 19, we've got a time of 1 hour 59 due to our light ball hunting, but we now do have the light ball, which is going to be really good for us. Arven joins us for this fight and he brings along Shoulder. We start the fight off with an Electro Ball as Shoulder lowers Clorf's defense. We then go for Thief, and I don't know why. There probably was a reason, but I don't know what it was at the time. Shoulder takes a Rock Smash and lowers its defense again, and another Thief takes it below Anger Point as Shoulder uses Life Dew to heal everyone up slightly. Shoulder then gets taken out by a Rock Tomb, leaving just us against the Clorf, but one final Thief takes it out and gives us our first Titan beaten, meaning that we can use the dash ability while riding around on our Koraidon. Our second gym leader is the grass type gym leader Brassius, and we're at level 19 for this fight with a time of 2 hours and 12 minutes. We have the light ball still, and I won't mention it again after this fight as we use it in every single fight after this. We do not switch our held item at all throughout this run, which is unusual, but it was needed. Later on it comes in very handy. It's not so good at low levels, but the higher level is the better effect it has. But anyway, Brassius leads off with Petlil. We fly, take it out on the second turn before Smoliv then comes in. We do the same thing, flying up, dodging the attack and taking the Smoliv out on the next turn. Brassius then sends in his ace Pokemon, Sudowoodo, which he will terrestrialize to the grass type as we go for Fly. At this point we still haven't terrestrialized because I did on the first run, and unfortunately Pikachu is squishier than I thought it was, and the rock move from the Sudowoodo was enough to take us out in a single hit, even though we're a little bit leveled. But once we hit Fly, Sudowoodo goes down to about half HP before hitting us with a Trailblaze, taking us down to around half HP as well. I decided to Fly again just to make sure that we wouldn't take another attack and that we could take the Sudowoodo out. And we do, dodging Sudowoodo's final attack before taking it out and giving us our second gym badge. Right, we're over to Bombardier now at level 20 with a time of 2 hours 22. And like I said, Pikachu is fragile. We had another reset here because of Rock Tomb, but we have the type advantage and it wasn't too bad. We always start this fight off with a heal, as it's the only fight where there isn't space in between the first and second phase to heal. And then Nacli will go for Rock Polish, because that's all Nacli ever does is Rock Polish. But we can then start taking the Bombardier down. It does get paralyzed after it hits us, and then we just keep hitting it with Spark or Electro Ball until it goes down, which takes 2 turns. It's not a difficult fight when you have the type advantage, and there's not really much else to say about it. With Bombardier beaten, we have the ability to travel across water on Koraidon, so we can head over to other places we couldn't get to before, mainly Iono's gym. We're over to our third gym leader now, Iono, the electric streamer, and for an early game gym leader, probably one of the toughest for where they are. But we've had to level up a bit. We've had a reset against Iono and one against Giacomo that I tried to do in between. They were both at level 28. We are now here at level 32 with a time of 3 hours 20 minutes, and we've also gone out of our way to pick up the TM for Dig to help us with this battle specifically. Wattrel is taken out in a single hit before Luxio comes in and intimidates, which is part of the reason we need to level up, because with the Intimidate our attacks lowered, Dig was doing less. But we dig against the Luxio, miss the attack. We've got a lot of 210 attacks in this run, it's quite frustrating. But we take Luxio out in a single hit before Iono then sends in Bellibolt. Bellibolt is quite a tanky Pokemon. So we use Dig, and luckily we are doing over half to it now. So after taking an attack from the Bellibolt, we can use one more Dig and finish it off. before Iono sends in her ace Pokemon, Miss Magius. And this Miss Magius is like the bane of this run. Well, not the whole run, but the early part of this run, because Miss Magius is a fast Pokemon and it's got decent attack. Well, special attack specifically. But Iono will terrestrialize it to the electric type. It has levitate, so it has no weaknesses. And it also likes to go for status moves and hacks, which is just infuriating. But we do outspeed it. We go for Thief, as it's probably the best attack we've got to use against it at this point. Do over half before getting hit with a Confuse Ray. And then we can not hit ourselves in confusion, luckily, and finish it off with another Thief. And that gives us our third gym badge of the run. Over to our fourth gym leader now, Kofu, the water type gym leader. And we are at level 33 with a time of 3 hours, 36 minutes, coming straight from Iono. We have the Sandstorm up in the background, which is super annoying because it does chip damage to us, and I believe Trio has an ability that raises its evasion basically, because as you see, we're going to miss Thunderbolt in a minute, which I've never missed before. But we take Veluza out with a single Thunderbolt, no issues. Trio does outspeed us and hits us for about half HP before our ability procs, causing it to become paralysed, and as I said, for some reason we miss. Don't know why. We could have flinched actually by the looks of it. It has been a little while since I actually recorded this, but we're now faster. Trio has -10 in defense, so we take it out. This just leaves Kofu's ace Pokemon, Crabominable. And I do remember at this point I was unsure if we were going to be able to win this with the Sandstorm and everything. But Crabominable comes out, it terrestrializes to the water type, and we hit it with a Thunderbolt, taking it out in a single hit, giving us our fourth gym badge of the run, and allowing us to continue without any more resets. We are now over to our first team star leader, the dark type specialist Giacomo. And we are at level 34 with a time of 3 hours and 54 minutes. For this fight, we've gone and picked up Brick Break as we learn it as a TM, and we need it. It's actually really helpful for us later on as well, but that's not important right now. Poniard, 4 times weak to it, goes down in a single hit before we face the first Starmobile. The Starmobiles all take on the type of the specialist, so this one is dark. It does have Intimidate, but we're still going to hit it with Brick Break. After we take a Metal Sound, lowering our special defense. We're going to do about a third, so not too bad. We're just going to keep going for Brick Break as we get hit with a Snarl, lowering our special attack as well, but it's fine. Another Brick Break brings it low, and then one more turn, we live. Brick Break finishes off Giacomo, and we've got our first team star base completed. We are over now to Orthworm, the Steel Titan, and we're at level 35 with a time of 4 hours and 9 minutes. We can't use Dig against it as it has Earth Eater, but Arvin joins us with his toe score this time. We land a Brick Break, doing about a third, and we get hit with a Wrap, putting us in a bind, doing a little bit of chip damage, nothing major, as Toe School goes for Screech, lowering Orthworm's defenses, meaning that on the next turn, one more Brick Break is all we need to finish off the Steel Titan and give us the ability for high jump while riding on Koridon. We are over now to the normal type gym leader, Larry. And honestly, I love Larry. He's my favourite person from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Just his whole demeanour and vibe. I can relate to it. Larry leads off the fight with Kamala, and as you'll see, we're going to take it out in a single Brick Break very quickly. We outspeed it, and it doesn't get to yawn us. While we do that, we are at level 47, having leveled up significantly since Orthworm, and we've got a time of 4 hours and 37 minutes. Larry's second Pokemon is the Dunsparce, and we're going to Terastallize because the Dunsparce has Drill Run, which will take us out in one hit if we get hit by it. We'll go for the Brick Break after Terastallizing, not too far off the KO. But we do avoid the ground type move, meaning that we take no damage and can take the Dunsparce out in one more turn. After some cheering from the crowd to motivate Larry, he decides to Terastallize his Staraptor and actually take the fight seriously. Unfortunately, because it's now normal, Brick Break is enough to take the Staraptor out and give us our 5th gym badge in total. We are now halfway done collecting all of the badges between the gyms, Titans and Team Star. So we are almost done and ready to take on the final parts of this run. We are over to our 6th gym leader now, Rhyme, and the only mandatory double battles in the base game. We are at level 59 with a time of 5 hours and 8 minutes. We've shot up in levels again since beating Larry, but we've tried Rhyme straight after. We tried again at 55. We've also tried Mela again in between and just been unsuccessful. So the only option for me was leveling up. We start the fight off by terrestrializing. So at the end of turn 1 we get our boost. And I've taught discharge for the double battle just to get damage on everything. We use it, take out the Azuro. We almost take out the Banette and paralyze it, and we break Mimikyu's disguise before getting very low from the attacks from Mimikyu and Banette. On the next turn, after we've had the buffs, we get hit with a Sucker Punch, which puts us very, very low, before we then finish off both of Banette and Mimikyu with another discharge, taking them both out. This leads to Rhyme sending in her last 2 Pokemon, which are Houndstone and Toxtricity, with Toxtricity being the ace Pokemon that will terrestrialize to the Ghost type. Thanks to another buff from the crowd for taking out Rhyme's Pokemon, we have enough damage to take them both out with a single discharge, giving us our 6th gym badge. And this is my favourite part of the run, having 6 gyms beaten, because it's when we can go and use bottle caps and things like that, improve our IVs, go and buy the vitamins, build our EVs, change our nature if we need to. I don't for Pikachu, just because I still want to use special attacks at some points, but we do build ourselves as mainly a physical attacker from this point, as a lot of our moves are physical. We are now over to the fire type team star leader Mela, and we're at level 59 still, coming straight from beating Rhyme, and we're also at a time of 5 hours and 21 minutes. Mela has 2 Pokemon. Those are Torkoal, which comes in, sets up the sun to boost out fire damage, and also the Weather Room Starmobile. We Dig, avoiding an attack from Torkoal and letting us take it out in a single hit, thanks to the fact that we've now managed to build our EVs and change our IVs, so we are doing a lot more damage. The Starmobile comes in, it's usually faster than us, but not now. We Dig, avoid the attack and take it out on the next turn, giving us the second of the Team Star bases beaten. We are now on Atticus, the poison type team star leader, having come straight from Mela. We are at level 59 still, with a time of 5 hours and 33 minutes. Atticus has quite a few Pokemon for us to go through, and unfortunately for us, the move that we're going to use is a 2-turn move, so this battle feels like it takes forever when you watch it back. It doesn't when you're actually doing it, but Atticus leads off with Skuntank as we go for Dig and take it out. It also gets paralysed thanks to our static ability, and then it's a one shot. We're pretty over leveled at this point in terms of it. After that is Revavroom, not the Starmobile one, but just the normal Poison Steel one, and it's 4 times weak to Dig as well, so we are able to take that out after a couple turns, one being underground and then missing an attack, and the next one to actually hit it. After Revavroom will be Muck, which we take out with Dig as well. Like I said, this fight feels like it takes forever because of Dig, but it's the only super effective move we have, so we take the Muck out, and that just leaves the poison type Starmobile. The Starmobile itself has the same ability as Glimmora, where it sets up toxic spikes when it's hit, but for us that's not an issue as we're not swapping Pokemon. So we hit it with Dig until it dies, and that means that we've only got a couple of battles left until we're heading towards the end of the game. Our 7th gym leader is Tulip. We have tried Grusha and just missed out, so I thought we'd try Tulip before leveling up anymore. And Tulip is a psychic gym leader. We're at level 60 for this fight with a time of 6 hours and 2 minutes. Would have been quicker, but somebody likes to have the ESP challenge at this point, which I really don't like. It drives me absolutely insane having to do it so many times. But with that said, Tulip leads off with Farigiraf. We hit it with Thief, just missing out on the KO, before we finish it off with a Brick Break. Next up is Gardevoir, and Iron Tail is enough, and we hit it. I have missed Iron Tails and lost because of that. But we take Gardevoir out in a single hit before a Spathra comes in. And I always think this is a Psychic Flying, but it's not. But we are fast enough to take it out. And that just leaves Tulip with her ace Pokemon, which is Florges, which will terrestrialize to the Psychic type. And we will be able to take it out with Thief, of all moves. Just because it's the only super effective move we have. It does survive one and hit us, but we live, we outspeed it, and it goes down. He winners 7 gym badges. Okay, so we are now on our final gym leader battle, and it is against Grusha, the ice type gym leader. We're at level 61 with a time of 6 hours and 10 minutes, and we take the Frostmoth out at the start of the battle without any issues. Luckily it can't set up Tailwind or the Snow to help Beartic and Titan. Beartic is also a one-hit KO with Brick Break. This leads to Titan being up next. We can't terrestrialize in this fight because of the ice types, but I also know Titan has ground moves. We are faster, we take it very low with the Brick Break, and luckily it goes for Ice Spinner, doing a good amount of damage, but we survive, and Titan is afflicted with paralysis because of static. We take it out on the next turn, and that just leaves Grusha's ace Pokemon, which is an Altaria, which will terrestrialize to be the pure ice type. We go for Brick Break again as it's super effective, it's the best thing we can do, and we manage to take it out in a single hit. And that gives us all 8 of the gym badges now done. Before we go take on the Elite Four, I'm going to go tidy up the rest of the Titans and Team Star bases. So I'll see you for the next one. Straight from beating Grusha, we come down to Great Tusk at level 61 with a time of 6 hours and 17 minutes. It would have been quicker, but we had to talk with Nimona and Geeta about the champion assessment before we could continue on. Anyways, we terrestrialize to be immune to the ground moves and resist the fighting moves, and for some reason I don't use Terra Blast even though we have it and it is super effective. We go for a Trailblaze and it does good damage, boosts our speed, and Scavillain slows the Great Tusk down as we get hit with a knockoff, which is fine. It also paralyzes the Great Tusk. We go for another Trailblaze, getting a crit, taking it very low, and then we're able to finish it off after one more turn. And then that is another Titan beaten, and that means that we can now glide with our Koraidon as we travel around. We're over to Ortega now, the Fairy type Team Star leader, and we're relying a lot of luck for this fight. We have leveled up a little bit more, we're up to 65 now, with a time of 6 hours 31 minutes. We take the Azumarill out with Spark at the start of the fight, as it's Water Fairy, so it goes down instantly. This leads to Wigglytuff, and this is where the issues started for me. Iron Tail is not a very accurate move, and needing to land quite a few of them together was just causing a lot of problems. So we leveled up enough that Spark would take Wigglytuff out, which it did, and that brings in Darkspun. I also have to watch out for Baby Doll Eyes, which lowers our attack, which is super annoying. We go for Iron Tail against the Darkspawn, taking the Baby Doll Eyes first, which lowers our attack. And we just miss out on taking the Darkspawn out, finishing it off on the next turn after another Baby Doll Eyes, which is now meaning we're at -2 for our attack. And we've built mainly into physical attack at this point, so it's not great for us. It's an issue I have later on with another fight as well, Baby Doll Eyes, but we'll get to that one when we get to it. All that's left for us to do now is beat Ortega's Starmobile, which is a fairy type in this one, and sets up the terrain when it comes in. It likes to go for Steel Roller to remove the terrain. We just Iron Tail, landing it, take the Steel Roller really well. We're not too worried about it, we resist it, and we just have to keep going for Iron Tail until it goes down, which it does. Giving us only one more Team Star base left to take on and one more Titan. Our final Titan is Tatsugiri. We're still at level 65 with a time of 6 hours and 58 minutes. I didn't put Dondozo in this. We are an electric type against a water type. There was no point to. We've also got Play Rough now, so Tatsugiri also is not a threat. It goes for Icy Wind after we land it, does a bit of damage, slows us down, but not enough as a second Play Rough takes it out, giving us a clean victory and allowing us to climb up walls and rocks on our Koraidon now. We're now over to the final member of Team Star, Eri, the fighting type Team Star leader. We've got a time of 7 hours, 15 minutes, and we're at level 65. We have the Flying Terror still, and very purposely didn't change it for this fight in particular. And we're going to hit Terastallization right off the bat and use Terror Blast. Once the animation for Terastallization is done, we outspeed, no Sucker Punch, and Toxicroak goes down to a single Terror Blast, meaning that Annihilate will be up next. The last time I tried this, because I have tried this one before, we just missed out on the KO on Annihilate and got hit with an Ice Punch which took us out. This time, I don't know if we had a low roll before, but it is a one-shot and Annihilate is defeated. This brings in Persimmon next, as now Eri has nothing with super effective moves against us. Once the Persimmon's in, we are faster. Terror Blast is enough to take it down. And the only other Pokemon that Eri has left that isn't the Starmobile is Lucario. It is a specially built Lucario, which always grabs me by surprise when I do this. But we have Brick Break and it's super effective. Lucario falls to that. And that just leaves the Starmobile. This Starmobile has caused me so many problems with physical attackers in the past, it's not even funny. Its ability stamina boosts its defense every time it gets hit, and if you don't do a good chunk of damage you just end up wasting time against it. But luckily for us, Terra Blast does way over half, and I know we're going to be able to take it out in the next turn after it goes for a shift gear, boosting its attacking speed. We get hit with a spinner, which doesn't do as much as it could, just over half. I've seen that KO before, but we don't resist it anymore as we're not electric type, before we finish it off with a final Terra Blast, meaning that all we've got left to do is the champion pathway to finish them off, the champions of each path basically. Here we are at the champion fight for Gita, and I know I've missed out the Elite Four, but only Poppy gave us a challenge, and the full video for it is going to be up on my full video channel, where you can see all of the run to, from start to end and completion. For Gita, we're at level 76 when we get here, and we've got a time of 8 hours and 8 minutes. And Gita's led off with a Sparkra. We went for Spark, not quite taking it out before taking an Lumina Crash, which lowers our special defense, and then finishing off the Sparkra with another Spark. Avalugg comes in, and I very purposely took Thunderbolt back for Avalugg, as it's got really good defenses and terrible special defense, and Thunderbolt is still enough to pick up the one shot before King Gambit comes in. We have Brick Break as it's 4 times effective, so King Gambit falls to a single Brick Break. Then in comes Go-Go is next for Gita. So we Terrestrialize, hit it with a Terra Blast, and that just leaves Gita with Veluza for the last Pokemon, and her ace, which is of course Glimora, which will Terrestrialize to the Rock type and be weak to Brick Break. Once the animation for Terrestrialization's done, we hit the Terra Blast, taking the Go-Go out in a single hit, leading to Veluza. We have Spark and we're faster, so Veluza will be a one-shot, there's not really any question about it. There it is, and this just leaves Gita's ace now coming in. Like I said, it is going to Terrestrialize. It takes a little while with all of Terrestrialization in these videos, but once it does, we hit the Brick Break, it goes down to a single hit, and that just leaves the final 3 fights that we've got left to do, being Nemona, Penny and Arven, before we can go to Area 0. Our next stop is Arven, finishing off the Path of Titans. And Arven's team, personally, is like one of my favourite teams that are used in this game. I just love the fact that they are all the Pokemon that Arven's used during our adventures. Unfortunately, because I know them all, we're going to be able to take them out quite easily. We take Arven's Greedent out with a Brick Break, Terrestrialize against the Garganacl because it has Earthquake, and hit it with Brick Break, doing just over half before taking it down on the next turn. We also avoid the damage from the Earthquake because we're Flying type. So it's always nice to have an immunity. Now that Garganacl's gone down, Scovillain comes in, but it is weak to Terra Blast. So we hit it with one and take it out. This will lead Arven in his next Pokemon, which is Toadstool. And that's also getting hit with a Terra Blast. Not surprisingly. Should have hit Great Tusk with Terra Blast earlier, I still don't know why I didn't. I know that was just a little bit of a side thought, but it's just bothering me watching it back earlier. Next up is Cloyster. We have the electric move, we have the fighting move, we can take Cloyster out in any way we want. We went for Spark, it is a one shot, just take it out. And this leaves Arven to send in his Mabostiff, which is his ace Pokemon, and he will Terrestrialize it to the Dark type. So we're going to hit the Brick Break and see if it's enough for a one shot. Once the animation for Arven's Terrestrialization's gone off anyway. Just always takes a while. I wish there was a way to turn animations off in this game like there is in Sword and Shield, well, every other game before this. But we do hit the Brick Break. It does about half, which is a bit less than I thought, before we get hit with a Crunch, leaving us very, very low. But we're faster. Brick Break will finish off the Mabostiff, and that ends one of our three paths now. It's now time for us to face off against our rival Nemona for the final time of this run. We're at level 79 with a time of 8 hours and 32 minutes. Nemona leads off with a Lichen Rock, which we hit with a Brick Break, taking it down without any issues, as she compliments us on our type matchup knowledge that we've had since 1998. That's when I started playing Pokemon. Next up is Orthworm. We Terrestrialize because it's going to go for a ground move against us, hit it with a Brick Break and do good damage and avoid the ground type move. Terrestrialization takes so long and you have to watch it back this many times while editing a video. We just missed out on the kill there, but the Earthquake doesn't hit us and we can take it out on the next turn. Should bring Pormo in, as we're now flying, so Pormo is super effective against us. And we can go for the dig against it. It does hit us with a quick attack, which just rude more than anything else. Just seems a bit unnecessary. But Dig does take Pawmo out in a single hit, leading to Goodra. We've still got Play Rough, so Goodra's taken down. We're faster, we don't miss, and Goodra's gone to a single Play Rough. This just leaves the Dunsparce to come in before Nemona's ace, which is going to be Meowscarada, as we gave Nemona Sprigatito at the beginning because it would resist our electric moves, not realising that I had the Terra Flying one. The Dunsparce does live the Brick Break, only just, and goes for a Coil, boosting its accuracy and its speed, but it's not fast enough to outspeed us, and it does go down. Once Meowscarada comes in, it is going to Terastallize to be a pure grass type, so we're going to hit it with the Terra Blast. Once the Terastallization animation has gone off, see if we're faster. We are faster than Meowscarada at this point. We weren't earlier, but it does go down to a single Terra Blast, and that's another path completed. Our final fight to end off the Team Star pathway is against Penny. And honestly, this might have been the most frustrating fight in the whole of the game. At this point, we are at level 84 with a time of 8 hours and 56 minutes. And I don't even remember how many resets I've had against this, thanks to only one move. One move has destroyed me, and that is Baby Doll Eyes. Cutting our attack constantly. I've had runs where I've had it used against me 4 times. Any more than 2 is a guaranteed loss. But we took the Umbreon out on our first turn with Brick Break. We've just taken the Flareon out with Dig. Vaporeon falls to Spark. And we haven't had a single Baby Doll Eyes used against us yet, so this is a really good run for me. Leafeon is in next as we Terastallize and use Terra Blast against it, which will take it out in a single hit. Without Baby Doll Eyes, every Pokemon except for Sylveon is just a one hit. I think Sylveon would be a 2, but I've never got to Sylveon without Baby Doll Eyes being used. And Leafeon uses it here, but does fall to the Terra Blast. And that just leaves Jolteon left before Sylveon. Jolteon is going to fall to one hit with Dig, even with a Baby Doll Eyes. Even with 2, Jolteon falls to a single hit with Dig. I was checking if Terra Blast was special or physical at that point, for anyone wondering. I know it changes depending on your highest stat. I wasn't sure if it would show up in the menu because I was trying to work out what was best to do against the Sylveon. We do survive one hit from Sylveon, but not 2. So we'd need to do over half damage normally. But luckily for me on this one, I went for a Spark and they went for a Baby Doll Eyes once they finish actually Terastallizing. There's the Fairy Terastallization done. So we went for Spark. Honestly, I was hoping for a Paralysis. They went for a Baby Doll Eyes. which left us doing quite a fair bit of damage. At this point I knew 2 Terror Blasts were enough and we would survive 1 Moon Blast. So the first Terror Blast comes out, hits it low, we take the Moon Blast, it does hit us very low as well, but we're faster and we take it out, meaning that we've finally beaten Penny. And we can go down to Area 0 and end off the run. And here we are on the final fight of the game for Pikachu. AI Sada. We are at level 85. We've got a time of 9 hours and 45 minutes. Sada uses a full team of Paradox Pokemon, but no terrestrialization for any of them. So we know their types quite well at this point. Sliverwing is easy to beat with a Terra Blast from Terra Flying. Does have first impression, but it doesn't go for it here. We'd have resisted it anyway. And Sliverwing is a one-shot. Sada's surprised that we know the types for the Paradoxes. Not realising how many times we've actually done this now. Fluttermane is up next, and we have to land the Iron Tails twice in this fight. But we land it against Fluttermane, taking Fluttermane down in a single hit, outspeeding it as well, which is nice because Fluttermane is very, very fast. Next up is the Sandy Shocks. And we use Dig against it, knowing it's going to go for the electric move, not the ground move, so we're safe. It does, we avoid the attack. On the second turn, we dig, take it down in one hit. Screamtail's up next, and Screamtail's a little bit bulky, so I wasn't sure Iron Tail would be enough on its own, but it is. That just leaves Brute Bonnet and Roaring Moon, with Roaring Moon being the ace that's got the booster energy to boost its attack. Brute Bonnet comes out, but Terra Blast will take it down and send it straight back into the Pokeball. And that's just going to leave us with Roaring Moon. We've still got Play Rough and Brick Break at this point, which both are super effective. Play Rough is 4 times effective, but it could also miss, which would cause the need to reset, which would be not good. We've already had 23 resets at this point. So when the Roaring Moon comes out, we decide to go for bit of suspense. Nah, I'm joking, it's Brick Break. It's a safer option. It was realistically, it'd be foolish to risk missing on the Play Rough and needing to reset when Brick Break would be enough. And with that, Pikachu has completed the solo run. Now that the run's done and we're at the Battle of the Koraidons, we're just going to use this time to talk about the run. But before that, thank you to everyone who's made it this far into the video. I do appreciate it. I have tried something different this video. I've been told to speed it up a little bit too much, so some of the fights don't look, not that they don't look good, but they make people feel like a little bit sick and stuff. So I've tried to do this without any speed up. It means I've had to cut out the Elite Four and Clavel, and it's still a little bit longer than I would like it to be. But if you prefer it this way, let me know, and if you prefer it the other way with the other fights in, that's fine. I'm still new to editing videos and kind of learning as I go along, especially using DaVinci Resolve. There's a lot to it for me as a beginner, but yeah. Also, if you want to leave a like and subscribe, that would be great. I would really appreciate it. So once all the credits are done, we've got a total time of 10 hours and 5 minutes, which is surprisingly very, very fast for a starter Pokemon. It is faster than Goldengo was, because Goldengo was 10.5 hours, and it is only half an hour slower than like Yanmega and Trevenant. Obviously it's nowhere near on par with Mewtwo, but I don't think anything ever will be, if I'm being honest. But yeah, 23 resets is quite a bit. The run for Pikachu is a very weird one with the light ball, because it starts off a lot more difficult, and then once you've kind of got your EVs, your IVs, and a few levels, you really feel the effect of that light ball. I think without it, this would have been a much longer run, and probably a level 100 one, just for how squishy Pikachu actually is. But I enjoyed the second half of it quite a bit. I didn't enjoy the first half that much. But the second half, once, like I said, things actually started dying and you could feel the effects of the light ball, was actually a lot of fun. The next run I have planned is Armarouge in Violet. I'm hoping to get it done very well, a lot quicker than this one. And then I'm hoping to be a lot more consistent again now. I don't have a UIC, I'm feeling better. And I've got a little bit more time to focus on these runs. But yeah, with all that being said, thank you all once again, and I will hopefully see you in the next video.